All right, so how do we do this shot? Kevin, how you feeling?
I'm not feeling, because my face is numb.
Cool, well, the first step was filming.
Let me know when we're good.
Yeah, ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
We knew approximately what we wanted,
Yeah!
And we're coming back around.
but one of the main things I had to remember was to shoot with the high shutter speed to make the rotoscoping easier a bit later on. After shooting a whole bunch of footage of different flying shots, this little bit is what ended up in the edit. So using our ACES workflow, I export this from Resolve and into After Effects. The first step is 3D tracking. I quickly cut out Kevin so I don't confuse the system, and I use the native 3D camera tracker. It does a really good job on the shot, so I create a camera and I export this 3D data into Unreal Engine. Okay, so the breakdown of this environment is basically this. I hand sculpted and textured all the landscape. All the trees and rocks were planted with the foliage tool, with higher quality assets closer to the camera, and low resolution simple shapes in the distance. The sky is an HDRI image. All the fog in the distance are just fog plates, which are basically just solid images. And the cliff that Kevin jumps off of is just a Megascans asset I found online. I had actually shot a photo scan of the cliff where we filmed, but it didn't work out, so I didn't end up using it. After I bring in the 3D camera tracking information from After Effects, I line them up by eye and I animate them in a flying path, so we get some good parallax movement. The biggest issue I had was with something called VDB clouds. It's basically a volumetric type of cloud, but the issue is that these don't really work on Mac and I didn't have a PC around. So every time I would do a render, they would just come up completely black. So I came up with a sort of solution. In Unreal Engine, I took every item in my scene except for the cloud and made it a bright white material. Then I could adjust the density of the VDB cloud and export passes at different densities. So back in After Effects, I have my main background plates and I can load all these cloud passes in on top. After playing around with several different matte, fill, and opacity options, I'm able to blend those layers together to look like this. It's not perfect, but it looks kind of like a cloud. All right, now we're gonna go and finish rotoscoping Kevin. Because I'm trying to do this quick, I'm gonna do a simple roto brush, which is gonna give me pretty ugly hard lines. I'm also gonna add a key light effect just to get rid of any green screen that may have ended up in our rotoscope. And here's the big one, the refine soft matte effect. It's gonna look at the movement and the edges, and once we dial it in, it's gonna give us a really good result. And then we're just going to apply the advanced spill suppressor set to ultra and set to our green screen color, just to get rid of any of that green spill we still might be dealing with. So we can bring in our background. We're just going to add a lumetri color effect to the background just to bring it down and match it a bit. We're also going to add the camera lens blur, and we're going to keyframe that so it looks like it matches. When we're close to Kevin's face, the background should be more blurred, and as we pull back, we can bring that blur down a bit. And then we're done in After Effects, and we have our shot. So I went to Carousel Cameras in Vancouver and I bought a roll of Ektachrome 100. I set up my camera on a tripod and we put this shot up on a big screen with a bit of a grade from our colorist Ryan, and we just took a photo of every single frame. Now we get the film developed and it looks amazing. So I wanted the film borders in the shot. So I asked Carousel if they could scan with the borders included, but they said they couldn't. And then I called everywhere else in Vancouver and they also said they couldn't. So I had to figure out something myself. So this ended up being super janky, but I was able to shine the light behind the film and find a macro lens that would work for getting these close-up shots. And once all those photos were taken, we had this. Okay, so it's not perfect, but we go back into After Effects and go frame by frame, lining up each photo, and in the end we have this. We apply that to a null object with a bit of a zoom out, and we finally have... And that's how we made 37 frames of a 6-minute video.